As a childcare worker, you will supervise young children, ensure their safety, well-being, and development throughout the day. Childcare workers also help with daily routines, lead educational and play activities, and support emotional and social growth. In today's video, we explore 32 childcare interview questions and answers. Each answer can be customized to highlight your unique qualifications and experiences. Before your interview, be sure to research the company and review the job description so you can include key skills relevant to the job role in your answers. Question number 1. As a childcare worker, what education do you have to perform your duties and responsibilities effectively? Hiring managers ask this to make sure you've received proper training in early childhood development, safety, and care. They want to know that you not only understand how to support young children, but also that you're certified in areas that directly impact their health and learning. Your answer shows how prepared you are to handle a range of responsibilities in a safe and engaging environment. I've completed several key certifications that help me support children safely and effectively. I hold a Child Development Associate (CDA) certificate and an Early Childhood Education (EDE) certificate, both of which gave me strong knowledge in child growth, learning stages, and positive behavior strategies. I've also completed water safety training, which is important for any environment where swimming or water play might be involved. To strengthen my practical skills, I've taken advanced childcare training that covers emergency preparedness, emotional support, and managing group routines. I'm also certified through the Newborn Care Specialist Association, which has helped me feel more confident in caring for infants and supporting new parents when needed. Together, this education has prepared me to meet children's developmental needs while keeping them safe and engaged. I'm always looking for ways to grow and stay updated because I know that each child is different and deserves thoughtful, well-informed care. Question number 2. What experience do you have working with young children? Hiring managers ask this to understand your comfort level with young children and how much hands-on experience you have. They want to know whether you've supported key routines like play, feeding, toileting, and emotional development. Even if you haven't worked in a formal setting, they're looking for signs that you're patient, observant, and truly enjoy working with young children. If you have previous experience working in childcare, you can use the following answer in your interview. I've worked in childcare for just over 3 years, mostly with children aged 18 months to 5 years. In my last nursery role, I supported a group of toddlers through their daily routines, including snack time, naps, outdoor play, and creative activities. I helped plan weekly activities around themes like shapes, seasons, or feelings, and worked closely with my team to keep the environment calm and supportive. I also had the chance to support 2 children with speech delays using picture cards and patience to help them feel included and understood. That experience taught me how important it is to slow down, really listen, and adjust your approach depending on each child. What I love most is building relationships over time, getting to know their personalities, helping them feel safe, and watching them grow in confidence. Every day brings something new, and I enjoy being someone they can depend on. Next, here's a perfect answer for someone with limited experience in childcare. I haven't worked in a formal childcare setting yet, but I've had a lot of hands-on experience looking after younger family members and volunteering at a local community group that runs sessions for toddlers. I helped with setting up activities, reading stories, cleaning up, and just being present with the kids during playtime. That experience made me realize how much I enjoy working with children and how naturally I connect with them. I've also spent time helping a neighbor with their young children a few mornings a week. It gave me insight into how routines like meals, nappy changes, and nap time work in a real-life setting. I learned how important it is to stay calm, keep a consistent tone, and make things feel predictable for the child. I may not have formal experience yet, but I'm eager to learn and confident in my ability to build trust and create a safe, welcoming space for young children. I'm ready to bring that energy into a childcare setting. Question number 3. What would you change in your last job? Hiring managers ask this to understand what you're looking for in your next role and how you handle challenges. It gives them insight into your mindset, whether you're solution-focused and respectful about past experiences. They want to see if you're able to grow from difficult situations and suggest improvements constructively. In my last job, I really enjoyed working with the children and had a great team, but one thing I would have changed is how often we had staff meetings or feedback sessions. Sometimes decisions were made quickly without much input from the people working directly with the children, and I think more regular communication would have helped the whole team feel more involved. I believe when staff have a space to share ideas and concerns, it leads to better outcomes for the children. I would have liked to have had more chances to talk about what was going well and where we could improve, especially when trying new routines or activities. That experience made me value open communication even more, and I've carried that with me. I try to speak up when something could be better and always stay open to hearing other points of view. Question number 4. What are 5 words that describe you? This question gives hiring managers a quick snapshot of how you see yourself and what qualities you bring to the team. They're looking for personality traits that fit the role, things like patience, creativity, or teamwork. It also shows your self-awareness and how well you match the environment they're trying to build. I describe myself as patient, nurturing, reliable, creative, and observant. Patience is key in childcare, especially when helping a child through a tough moment or when routines change. Being nurturing means I create a safe and calm space where children feel supported, and reliability helps the team and families trust me. Creativity helps when I'm planning activities or finding new ways to teach a concept in a fun and engaging way, and being observant allows me to notice when a child's behavior shifts or when they're making progress in ways that aren't always obvious. These 5 words sum up how I approach each day in childcare with calm focus, flexibility, and care. I want every child to feel seen and every coworker to know I'm someone they can depend on. Question number 5. What makes you unique as a childcare worker? Hiring managers want to know what sets you apart from other candidates. They're looking for something memorable and personal, something that shows your passion, mindset, or experience. It's a chance for you to highlight how you create meaningful impact in the lives of children. What makes me unique is how naturally I connect with each child's personality and make them feel safe and understood. I really pay attention to the little details, whether it's a toddler's favorite song or a shy child's body language when they're nervous. I think children pick up on that, and it helps build trust quickly. I also bring a calm, steady energy even in busy or unpredictable moments. Whether I'm helping a child through a tantrum or managing a group during transitions, I stay focused and grounded. That helps the children stay calm too. I've been told by both parents and coworkers that I have a strong sense of intuition when it comes to reading a child's needs. I don't just go through the routine. I look for ways to connect and help children feel proud of themselves. That personal connection is what I bring to every role. Question number 6. What is one of your weaknesses? This question helps employers see how self-aware and honest you are. They're not looking for perfection. They want to know you're willing to grow and take feedback seriously. A good answer shows you recognize your limits and are actively working to improve. One weakness I've worked on is overthinking how I handled certain situations. Sometimes after a shift, I'd replay things in my head, wondering if I could have responded better when a child was upset or if I said the right thing to a parent. While reflection is useful, I realized I was putting too much pressure on myself. Over time, I've learned to check in with my coworkers when I'm unsure and to trust that I handled things with care and good judgment. I also started journaling a few quick notes after work. What went well, what I'd like to do differently, which helps me see patterns and move forward in a more balanced way. This has helped me grow in confidence and be kinder to myself while still learning and improving. I know I won't always get everything perfect, but I care deeply and always aim to do better next time. Before we continue, I just want to take a moment to thank you for watching this video. You can download a copy of these interview questions and answers in PDF format by clicking on the link below and supporting my channel by making a minimum donation of $3. Your support allows me to keep creating valuable content to help you pass your interview and land your dream job. Thanks for your support and appreciation. Question number 7. What do you like most about working with children? Hiring managers want to understand what motivates you and whether your passion aligns with the role. They're looking for people who find genuine joy in the work, not just those who see it as a job. Your answer can help show how well you'll connect with the children and the team. What I like most about working with children is watching their confidence grow. Whether it's a toddler learning to share or a preschooler writing their name for the first time, those small wins feel really meaningful. I love the curiosity children bring to everything. It keeps the day lively and reminds me to see the world through their eyes. I also enjoy building relationships with families and helping create a safe, supportive environment where children feel valued. It's rewarding to know I can play a part in helping them feel secure and proud of who they are. Each day brings new moments, and even though it's busy, it never feels boring. That energy and unpredictability is something I genuinely enjoy. Question number 8. What do you like least about working with children? This question helps employers gauge your self-awareness and honesty. They don't expect you to love every single aspect, but they do want to know that you can handle the tough parts with patience and professionalism. Your answer should show that you understand the challenges but aren't discouraged by them. The hardest part for me is when a child is having a tough day and nothing seems to comfort them. You want so badly to help, but sometimes they just need space or time, and it can be difficult not to take it to heart. I've learned that staying calm and consistent is key, and sometimes just being present is enough in that moment. I also find transitions, like drop-off time, can be emotional for certain children. It's never easy to watch a child cry as a parent leaves, but I remind myself that they're adjusting and that over time, it does get easier. Even the tough parts have meaning though. They've helped me grow in patience and empathy. I've learned to lean on the team, communicate with parents, and trust the child's process. Question number 9. How do you handle situations where multiple children need your attention simultaneously? Hiring managers ask this to see how you manage high-pressure moments while keeping children safe and supported. They're looking for someone who can stay calm, prioritize effectively, and not let stress affect their tone or decision-making. This also shows how well you handle multitasking and group dynamics. When several children need my attention at once, I start by quickly assessing who needs immediate help and who can wait a moment. For example, if one child is hurt or crying, I check on them first while reassuring the others. I'll be right there. I use calm, clear language so everyone feels seen, even if I can't be everywhere at once. In group settings, I also try to create a structure where children know what to expect. For instance, during art or snack time, I'll give clear instructions, and I often involve children in helping each other, like pairing them up or letting one child pass out napkins. Staying calm makes a big difference. Children take cues from adults, so if I keep my voice steady and my focus clear, they usually respond well. It's about balancing care with clear boundaries and letting children know they're all important. Question number 10. What age groups do you prefer to work with? This question helps hiring managers understand where your strengths lie and how you'll fit into their team. They want to know which age groups you connect with best and whether you're open to flexibility. It also gives insight into your experience and comfort level with different developmental stages. I enjoy working with a range of age groups, but I especially connect with toddlers and preschoolers around ages 2 to 4. I love that stage because they're learning to express themselves, become more independent, and explore their surroundings in creative ways. There's a lot of growth happening quickly, and it's rewarding to help guide them through it. That said, I'm also comfortable working with infants and slightly older children. I think each age group brings something special, and I like adjusting my approach to meet their individual needs. I've found that no matter the age, what matters most is consistency, patience, and making children feel safe. I'm happy to support wherever I'm needed, and I enjoy learning from each age group along the way. Question number 11. How do you ensure children in your care play safely? Safety is a top priority in any childcare role. Hiring managers want to know you're proactive, aware of potential risks, and able to create a safe space without taking the fun out of play. This question shows how seriously you take responsibility and how you balance freedom with supervision. Before any activity starts, I check the space and materials to make sure they're age-appropriate and in good condition. No sharp edges, choking hazards, or broken toys. During play, I position myself so I can see all the children and step in quickly if needed. I also set clear, simple rules that help children understand what's safe and what's not. Rather than saying no all the time, I try to explain why certain actions aren't safe and offer alternatives. For example, if a child starts climbing furniture, I might redirect them to the soft play area and say, let's climb here where it's safe. I've learned that the more children feel seen and engaged, the less likely they are to push unsafe boundaries. So I stay involved and ready to step in, not just to stop unsafe behavior, but to teach them how to make safer choices on their own. Question number 12. How do you handle a child who is consistently disruptive during activities? Hiring managers ask this to see how you balance patience with structure. Children sometimes act out for many reasons, and they want to know if you can respond in a way that's calm, consistent, and effective. They're also looking to see how you support positive behavior without singling a child out. When a child is regularly disruptive, I start by observing what might be triggering the behavior. Are they bored, overstimulated, or trying to get attention? I look for patterns and make small changes, like adjusting where they sit or offering them a specific role in the activity to keep them engaged. I also speak with the child calmly and privately when possible. I might say, I can see you're having a hard time sitting still. Let's figure out what might help you join in better. It's not about punishment, it's about helping them succeed in the group. If the behavior continues, I communicate with the lead teacher or parent to come up with a consistent plan. I believe in setting clear expectations, but also offering support. Every child has a reason for how they're acting, and part of our job is to help them find better ways to cope. Question number 13. Describe a time you resolved an issue with an unhappy parent. This question helps employers assess your communication skills and professionalism. Parents are trusting you with their child, so when they're upset, it's important to listen, stay calm, and find a resolution. How you handle concerns reflects your reliability and your ability to build strong partnerships with families. There was a time a parent approached me upset because their child had come home with a small scratch and no note explaining what happened. I listened carefully, apologized for the lack of communication, and assured them I understood how concerning that must feel. I explained what I knew about the incident. It had happened outside during playtime and was minor, but we should have documented it and let them know. I also let them know I'd bring it up with the team to make sure we were all following our reporting system consistently. The parent appreciated that I didn't get defensive and that I followed through. I also made a point to check in with them personally the next day to show that I took their concerns seriously. Since then, I've been even more mindful about keeping parents informed no matter how small the incident may seem. Question number 14. What's the relationship between customer service and childcare? Hiring managers ask this to see if you understand that childcare isn't just about caring for children. It's also about building trust with families. They want someone who can communicate well, be approachable, and treat parents with the same care they give to children. In childcare, customer service is just as important as how you care for the children. Parents are trusting you with the most important part of their lives. So being approachable, responsive, and supportive goes a long way. Whether it's greeting them warmly at drop-off or keeping them in the loop throughout the day, it's all part of building trust. If a parent has a concern, I listen without becoming defensive and focus on solutions. Good customer service in childcare means being respectful, professional, and consistent so parents know their child is in safe hands. Even little gestures, like remembering to tell them their child tried a new food or made a new friend, help strengthen that connection. When families feel heard and respected, it creates a strong partnership, which always benefits the child. Question number 15. Can you describe a time when you had to adapt your teaching style to accommodate a child with special needs? This question helps hiring managers understand how flexible and inclusive you are. They're looking for someone who can recognize a child's individual needs and find creative, patient ways to support them. There was a little boy in our preschool room who had delayed speech and found group activities overwhelming. I noticed he was more engaged during quieter moments, so I started sitting with him one-on-one during story time, using picture cards and gestures to support his understanding. Instead of expecting him to join in big group sessions, I brought elements of the activities to him in smaller settings, like using matching games or sensory bins to introduce the same concepts. Over time, he became more confident, and we slowly worked up to him joining in short group play. I also kept in close contact with his parents so we could be consistent in how we supported him at home and at nursery. The biggest takeaway for me was that flexibility, observation, and a calm approach can make a huge difference. Every child learns differently, and it's my job to meet them where they are. Question number 16. Do you prefer to work independently or with other childcare workers? They ask this to understand how you fit into a team. Childcare is rarely a solo job. You'll often collaborate with others, and they want to know if you're flexible, communicative, and supportive in a team setting. I enjoy working as part of a team because it creates a more supportive environment for both the children and the staff. Being able to share ideas, cover for each other, and communicate clearly helps the day run smoothly and makes the experience better for the kids. That said, I'm also confident working independently when needed. If I'm in charge of a small group or setting up an activity, I can take the lead and manage the routine without needing much direction. I think the best childcare settings have a good balance. Team members who can rely on each other, but also take initiative when needed. It's about doing what's best for the children while supporting one another along the way. Question number 17. What strategies do you use to encourage positive behavior among children? Hiring managers ask this to learn about your approach to behavior management. They want to know that you guide children gently but consistently using positive reinforcement and not punishment. My approach is all about setting clear expectations, modeling good behavior, and celebrating the positives. I like to praise specific actions, like great job sharing your toy with Mia, because it shows the child exactly what they did right. I also use visual cues and consistent routines to help children feel secure. They're more likely to behave well when they know what's coming next. When a child is having a tough moment, I stay calm, get down to their level, and talk it through instead of reacting quickly. Sometimes redirection works best. Offering a new activity or space can help prevent a meltdown. I also believe in checking in with how they're feeling instead of just focusing on what they did. When children feel seen and supported, they usually respond with more cooperation. Question number 18. How do you keep parents informed about their child's daily activities and progress? They want to know if you value communication and how you build trust with parents. Consistent updates help parents feel involved and supported in their child's development. I believe daily communication with parents is essential, even if it's just a quick chat at pickup. I like to share highlights from their child's day, what they ate, how they slept, new things they tried, or little wins like using the toilet or learning a new word. I also use a communication app when the nursery provides one, uploading photos or short notes during the day so parents feel connected. If a child is going through a developmental change or needs extra support, I arrange time to talk more in depth, either in person or over the phone. Parents really appreciate being kept in the loop, and I always make time to listen to any concerns they have too. I see it as a partnership. We both want the best for their child, so keeping that line of communication open is key. Question number 19. How would you help new parents feel that you're providing the best care for their baby? Hiring managers want to see how you build trust with first-time or nervous parents. They're looking for someone who is confident, gentle, and reassuring when working with infants and toddlers. When working with new parents, I focus on building trust from day one. I make sure I greet them warmly, take time to answer any questions, and reassure them that their baby's well-being is my top priority. I always follow each baby's routine as closely as possible, and I ask parents about their preferences so I can provide consistent care. Throughout the day, I share updates, whether it's a photo of tummy time or a note about how much they drank. I know how hard it can be to leave your baby with someone new, so being open, patient, and communicative helps ease that worry. Even small things like remembering their child's comfort item or how they like to be rocked can show that I'm paying attention and that their baby is in loving, capable hands. Question number 20. How do you improve your skills as a childcare worker? This question helps employers see if you take responsibility for your growth. They want someone who's curious, committed, and always looking for ways to support children better. I'm always looking for ways to learn more and improve. I regularly attend trainings like first aid refreshers and workshops on child development or behavior strategies. I also read articles, listen to podcasts, and talk with coworkers about what's working well in their rooms. Sometimes the best learning comes from watching how others interact with children and trying out new ideas myself. If I notice a child isn't responding well to something, I reflect on how I can adjust my approach or ask for advice from a colleague. I also keep up with what parents are reading or hearing, so I can be informed and provide support when they come to me with questions. The more I learn, the better I can care for the children, and that's always the goal. Question number 21. Define success as a preschool teacher. Hiring managers want to know how you measure progress and what you value most in your role. Your answer gives insight into your priorities, whether you focus on development, relationships, or creating a nurturing environment. It helps them understand if your view of success aligns with their center's goals. To me, success as a preschool teacher means creating a space where children feel safe, curious, and valued. It's not just about learning letters and numbers. It's about helping each child feel confident to try new things, express themselves, and build friendships. If I see children growing socially, becoming more independent, and showing excitement about learning, I know I'm doing something right. I also see success in the small moments, when a shy child finally speaks up at circle time, or when a child comforts a friend. It's also important that parents feel informed and included, so I consider it a success when they trust me and feel comfortable asking questions. For me, it's about nurturing the whole child and being someone who encourages kindness, creativity, and growth every day. Question number 22. Can you provide an example of how you've incorporated cultural diversity into your classroom activities? Childcare settings serve families from many backgrounds, so hiring managers want to know that you respect and celebrate cultural differences. They're looking for someone who helps children feel represented and accepted. Your answer should show sensitivity and creativity. One activity I planned was a World Celebration Week, where we explored different countries through stories, music, food, and crafts. I asked families if they'd like to share anything from their own culture, and some parents brought in traditional snacks or read books in their home language. We made flags, listened to songs from around the world, and practiced simple greetings in other languages. The children loved learning how other kids live and play, and it sparked great conversations, even with our youngest learners. I think it's really important for children to see that there are many ways of doing things and that all families are special. Activities like this help build respect and curiosity at a young age. I always try to include diverse books, songs, and dolls in the classroom so representation is part of the everyday experience, not just for special events. Question number 23. How do you know if your teaching strategies are effective? Hiring managers want to understand how you reflect on your work and assess outcomes. It's not just about delivering lessons. It's about noticing how children respond and grow. They're looking for someone who adapts their approach based on observation. I pay close attention to how the children respond, both during the activity and over time. If they stay engaged, ask questions, or want to keep exploring, I take that as a sign the strategy is working. I also look for growth. If a child who used to avoid group play now joins in, I know our social activities are helping. I often reflect at the end of the day on what went well and what felt rushed or confusing. I also talk with coworkers and ask for feedback. They sometimes notice things I miss. If a strategy isn't working, I'm not afraid to change it up. I might try a visual cue instead of a verbal one or switch from sitting to hands-on play. It's all about finding what clicks for that group of children. I believe effective teaching comes from being flexible and tuned in. Question number 24. How do you handle misbehavior in the classroom? This helps employers see if you can manage behavior while keeping a calm, supportive tone. They want to know if you understand child development and can handle challenging moments without being reactive. It's about creating a safe environment for everyone. I try to understand what's behind the behavior before reacting. Children act out for lots of reasons. Maybe they're tired, frustrated, or unsure how to express a need. My first step is staying calm and getting down to their level to speak gently. I explain why the behavior isn't okay and what they can do instead. For example, if a child grabs a toy from a friend, I might say, "I see you really wanted that toy. Let's ask if you can have a turn when they're done." I also use positive reinforcement, like noticing when they're using kind words or helping a friend. Consistent routines and clear expectations help prevent a lot of misbehavior, but when it happens, I focus on teaching rather than punishing. My goal is to guide, not shame, helping the child learn better ways to cope or communicate. Question number 25. What 5 items would you put in an empty classroom? Hiring managers ask this to understand your priorities when it comes to learning environments. They want to know how well you balance creativity, safety, and child development. Your choices say a lot about how you approach early education. If I walked into an empty classroom, the 5 items I'd start with are a soft rug, building blocks, picture books, a role-play kitchen, and art supplies. A soft rug creates a cozy space for circle time and gives children a place to feel grounded. Building blocks support fine motor skills and problem solving, and they also encourage teamwork when children play together. Picture books open up early literacy and language development, and they're great for sparking curiosity. A role-play area like a kitchen helps with social development, imagination, and turn-taking. Art supplies like crayons, paper, and paint offer a creative outlet and allow children to express themselves in different ways. These 5 items create a well-rounded environment where children can explore, create, learn, and grow, all while feeling safe and engaged. Question number 26. How do you approach communicating with children who have different learning styles or developmental paces? This question helps assess your ability to individualize care and instruction. Employers want to know if you can recognize differences and respond with patience, creativity, and respect. I believe every child learns in their own way, so I always try to observe and listen closely before deciding how to support them. For visual learners, I use picture cards or visual schedules. For those who learn by doing, I bring in hands-on activities like matching games or sensory bins. If a child needs more time, I avoid rushing them and make sure they feel encouraged no matter how fast they're progressing. I also check in with parents and colleagues to make sure we're all supporting the child consistently. One thing I always keep in mind is that communication goes beyond words. Tone, body language, and facial expressions all matter. If a child seems frustrated or lost, I'll try to rephrase or use gestures to help them understand. It's about finding what works for them and celebrating progress, no matter how small. Question number 27. Can you share an example of a successful activity or lesson you designed for young children? They want to know if you can create meaningful, age-appropriate learning experiences. Your answer should show creativity, planning, and how you evaluate success. One of my favorite activities I designed was a mini farmer's market for the preschoolers. We turned the classroom into a pretend market with toy fruits and vegetables, shopping bags, and signs with prices. The kids took turns being shopkeepers and customers. It tied into our weekly theme about healthy eating and helped with counting, role-playing, and language development. Before we started, we read a book about fruits and veggies, then I guided them in setting up the market stalls. The kids loved it. They were engaged the entire time and even asked to do it again the next day. What made it successful was how it combined so many learning goals into one activity: math, social interaction, vocabulary, and pretend play. It also let quieter children take on roles that built their confidence. I always try to plan lessons that feel like play but have a lot of learning underneath. Question number 28. How do you handle stressful situations, especially when dealing with young children? Childcare environments can be unpredictable. Employers want to see that you can stay calm and think clearly during challenging moments, which is essential for safety and maintaining a positive atmosphere. When things get stressful, like when multiple children need help at the same time or someone is upset, I focus on staying calm and grounded. I take a deep breath, speak slowly, and try to prioritize what needs immediate attention. Children often mirror our emotions, so keeping a steady tone helps keep the room more settled. If one child is in distress, I reassure them first and make sure they feel seen. I'll often redirect other children with a quiet activity so I can give the one in need a little extra attention. Later, I reflect on what caused the stress. Was it the routine, the environment, or something else? That helps me plan better next time. I also think it's important to lean on your team. Communicating clearly with coworkers during busy moments makes a huge difference. I've learned that staying calm helps everyone feel safer, and it sets a good example for the children, too. Question number 29. What methods do you use to monitor and assess a child's development and learning progress? This question helps determine whether you're observant, organized, and aligned with early years standards. They want to see that you know how to track growth and use that information to support learning. I use a mix of daily observations, photo documentation, and developmental checklists to track each child's progress. I take note of key milestones, like how a child is using language, engaging in play, or solving problems, and I look for patterns over time. I often jot down quick notes during the day or snap photos during activities to include in each child's learning journal. These records help me plan next steps, whether a child needs extra support or is ready for a new challenge. We also do formal check-ins using frameworks like the EYFS to make sure we're meeting learning goals. I always try to involve parents too, sharing progress and asking what they're seeing at home. That way, we work together to support the whole child. Every child develops at their own pace, so I focus more on growth than comparison. It's about helping each child move forward in a way that suits them. Question number 30. How do you integrate technology into your teaching or caregiving practices, if at all? Hiring managers want to know if you use tech in meaningful, age-appropriate ways. They also want to understand your views on screen time, communication tools, and educational apps. I believe technology can be helpful in small doses when it supports learning and connection. For younger children, I've used interactive whiteboards to play music, read stories aloud, or explore educational videos that match a topic we're covering, like animal sounds or counting songs. We also use tablets for occasional activities like letter tracing apps or group games that involve problem solving. The key for me is making sure tech is used with intention, not as a filler. I always balance it with hands-on, social, and creative play. Outside the classroom, I've used technology for documenting children's work through digital learning journals, which parents really appreciate. It's a great way to keep them involved and informed about what their child is doing day to day. I don't think tech replaces traditional learning. It just offers a new way to support it when used wisely. Question number 31. Describe a situation where you had to collaborate with colleagues to enhance a child's learning experience. Childcare is a team effort. Employers want to see that you're open to sharing ideas, solving problems together, and putting the child's needs first. We had a child who was struggling with transitions, especially during group times and at pickup. After noticing a pattern, I brought it up with my team during our weekly planning meeting. Another colleague shared that she had success using a visual timetable with a different child, so we worked together to create one tailored to this child's daily routine. We introduced it slowly, showing the child what would happen next, using picture cards. We also added a quiet corner where they could go if they felt overwhelmed. Over the next few weeks, we saw a real improvement. The child became more confident moving between activities and started participating more during group time. It was a great example of how working together and sharing ideas can really change things for the better. No one person had the full answer, but as a team, we were able to support that child in a way that made a big difference. And finally, here's the last question. Question number 32. Do you have any questions for me or for us regarding this childcare position? This question shows how curious and invested you are in the role. It gives you a chance to learn about the team, the setting, and expectations, while also showing you're thinking about how you'd fit in. Thank you for this opportunity because I do have a few questions. What does a typical day look like here for someone in this role? I'd love to get a sense of the flow and how staff support each other during busy times. I'm also curious about how the team works together to handle things like behavior support or developmental concerns. Is there a shared approach or training provided? And I also want to ask you, what do you enjoy most about working here? I always find it helpful to hear what makes a place special from someone who's already part of the team. I'm really excited about the opportunity and want to make sure I'm doing everything I can to contribute and grow if I'm lucky enough to join you. If you want to learn more on how to land jobs and reach your career goals, don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell notification button to get new videos every single week. Also, don't forget to hit that like button because that motivates me to keep doing what I do. Stay safe, keep smiling, and good luck.